I guess you guys ready? The red, they have to go green. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, we are recording and we are live.
All right, call to order, roll call. Caitlin?
Here.
Pete? Here. Wade here. Bill?
Here.
And Jonathan.
Here.
And let's take a moment of silence. And we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And we need to consider approving the agenda for October 7th meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And not hearing any nays, it's approved. Public comment for agenda items only. There's no one here. So minutes. Consider approving the minutes from September 2nd. So I post them on the website if anybody
Move
ever
to
wants.
approve.
Okay. All those in favor approve? Say aye. Aye.
Aye.
So, minutes are approved. And new business, discuss the sustainability initiative that Suzanne is heading up.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Some of you I've met before, some of you I haven't. I'm Suzanne Galanin. I'm going to be spearheading the sustainability project for the township. So I know you received an email, I believe it was from Steve Bradley, that highlighted items that I would like input from Park and Rec Board. That falls under your purview. I think you'd be the most informed for those items. Today, I sent another email and I found two more little items to add to your list. And attached to the next email was a submission form. What we're looking for here is to pick the low-hanging fruits, things that are already being done. All we have to do to prove that or support that is I need a link to a website or an area that substantiates that everything is being done, or a PDF sent to me that I can submit that shows again that we are accomplishing this particular item. The goal for the township is each item has a point value associated with it that you can see on the spreadsheet that you have. Some of these items just aren't going to be realistic for our community. Others are going to be something that maybe we can focus on down the line, years down the line. So also on the email, I gave you 4 different options for a response. And that's also on the information form that is submitted with your particular response. The first one would be implemented. That means it's currently being done. Again, I just need a PDF or a link demonstrating, okay, the township's already doing this, this is how, and this is where. The second one would be in the process with an expectation of implementation of a year. You don't need a specific date, just a year would suffice. Third option, it's under review, and the final option, no action at this time. So if you want to look at the 5 that we picked for Park and Rec, we can take a look at it now. So the first one on your sheet is 7A. And what I'd like to request is, Wade, since you're the chair, if anyone has information, or as we go along, I would prefer if we could assign it to a specific individual, so you're not doing double work. And
Okay,
then if all the responses could come to you, and you would send them to me in one package, so I'm not getting 10, 15 emails.
so you think we should split the 5 up among the 5 of us that we have?
Right,
Okay.
or you can volunteer.
Does anyone want to grab, does anyone have any preference to which of the 5?
I'll do whatever you tell me.
Can you just go down and, all right, so we have 7A.
7A, I will tell you that I met with the EAC, and I know Sheila already mentioned the yoga in the park as one of the exercise items, but there's going to be a lot of crossing between different boards and committees. So any ideas that you have will be greatly appreciated. So who am I putting down for 7A?
Well, I don't know, can we look at all 5 before we choose?
Sure.
All right, so,
Okay, so 7A, the next one was 7B.
yeah,
Outdoor recreation opportunities, that's, I think you have a lot to offer in that arena. 7D. Oh, why is this on here again? I apologize. 7D should not be on yours. That's,
70 is the pesticides.
yeah, George and I
So
are
that's not
handling
ours,
that one.
I'll take that.
it's not up for
I'm
grabs.
serious.
Well, George
that
has,
one that-
George has to answer it because he is doing the work.
Well, that's why I want it.
Can I have the second after you?
Okay,
All right,
so
so
that, I
it is-
apologize, that shouldn't have been on here. The next one is 18F. Sustainable landscape practices are in place for parks and municipal grounds.
And so, you know, we do clean up 3 of the parks. We have a cleanup, annual cleanup at 3 of the parks. I think, I don't know if that would fit in this category. I mean,
Sustainable, I think they're looking for the types of plants that are planted, if I understood, who was saying that? Janet was saying that Monday.
so we do plan on doing a stick. What was that?
Staking.
Staking, yes.
We
live.
did live staking. Can we get credit for that, or is that the Penn State?
No, we should be able to get, we did it in
No,
our
if
township.
it occurred in the township, we definitely will get credit.
So we did a live staking, when was that, in the fall, Caitlin?
April?
Oh, that's right, it was the spring. So we're gonna do it in February, next year.
Okay,
So, you know, I could work with Cindy to try and get something together to prove it out of,
They have pictures, and
oh, yes, that's right, there are some
I think
pictures,
there's a Facebook post or something.
right.
Facebook posts, pictures, even the guidelines that you followed from Penn State that explains exactly what you did, why you
I
did.
have emails.
Okay,
I think cleanup would.
Yeah.
I think the cleanup would.
Yeah, I think it would be wise to put the cleanup in as an answer with that as well.
okay.
And then the last one is 23C. Comp plan includes parks and rec, an open space component with proposed passive or active greenways, parks and trails, and the zoning and subdivision ordinances support the vision.
23-6. I'll take that one,
Okay,
because I've looked over the comprehensive plan, I know where it's at.
perfect.
Mhm.
Okay. So that leaves 7A, 7B, and 18F.
I could do 18F because I have park cleanup emails and posts and the like.
Perfect, thank you.
And I'll get you information as far as the cleanups go and who did it and posters.
Okay.
Is that the Darby Creek cleanup?
Darby Creek, and we also did the DC.
CRC, the one
CRC,
at Drexel Lodge you did too.
Yes. There's three.
Numerous categories, and that's great.
I'll take 7B.
Okay. It looks like who's gonna volunteer for 7A?
I guess I'll do that.
You know Sheila,
I do.
she's
We all
probably
know
gonna
she-
have input for you too and some help. You guys might be able to cross lines there.
Okay.
Yeah, we do plan on adding another exercise program next year. And she's done some research on that as well. So
She
we
said
can
Tai
include
Chi?
that.
The bocce court.
It was Tai Chi or something like that, yeah.
Hibachi would also fit in.
Yes, it
Oh,
would.
right.
Yes, it would.
Right.
That would be great. The more information I have, the better.
So I have a PowerPoint presentation on the bocce. That's about all we have. Is that?
That's perfect.
Okay.
That's perfect. So you, lucky board, have a very short list. And if you look through this list and find something else that interests you, that you think you have information for, just let me know.
Okay, just so I have, in a minute, who was assigned to which one?
So
Okay.
you have 7A, I have 7B, Caitlin has 18F, and Wade has 23C.
We have 7.
There's a pop quiz. I'm sitting next to Pete.
I write everything down.
Caitlin has,
18F.
And this is going to be a project that's going to go on for a year or even more, because some of these are rather lofty. So some of them we'll never accomplish, some we will, but it's just going to take time.
Yeah.
But the goal right now is just to get everything that we are already doing to get us a good rating.
Where would the murals fit into here? We, done one, we have another one planned.
What about 7B?
Yeah, lifestyles are promoted, just relaxation. Hey, Bill, if you want to join me on,
I think
7B.
Drexel Lodge, what you did at Drexel Lodge would fit into that.
yeah,
Concert in the park.
yep.
Yep,
A concerts in the park, right?
that's B, you're saying, right?
Yeah, B,
Mhm.
yoga, of course.
What about the basketball court?
There's recreation in here, one of these.
I mean, the painting.
There may be a little overlap between 7A exercise and 7B outdoor recreation. Is it okay to use yoga in the
Yeah.
park for 7A and 7B?
Yeah,
I would. And that also, the basketball court would also fall under that category as well.
yeah, I'm talking about the painting of
Mm-hmm.
the actual court itself. And the court itself fits into all the recreation stuff. But the painting of it is sort of cultural and lifestyle.
Yeah, it's brought in community, the students.
Yeah.
It's created.
Plus people, I've seen little kids over there and I was looking around all four sides and this little girl came up, what are you doing? I said, I'm looking at these beautiful pictures. And so, the two of us just walked around and looked at everything and tried to figure out what the things were, the sun and the moon. It was education for me. She told me exactly what they were.
Looking through a different pair of eyes.
Yep.
wait, which one did you take?
He got 23C.
23C.
You know what, Bill, I will look for where the painting of the basketball court would fit, because there has to be something on here.
I'll find some.
Now, 21A and D were on here.
Steve mentioned extra ones last time.
Yeah,
Yeah, there was a few others.
I thought I had his email.
I have all of them right here.
So, and you make a good point, because 21A and 21B are ones that ideally the Trails Committee would spearhead, but you have a very good perspective on that. And I think it would be very appropriate if you had something on those trails questions that they be submitted. Because the Trails Committee is new. Park and Rec's been doing this for a while. The Trails Committee is a newer group, so you'll have some historical information on them.
And, walking it through the trail system of Drexel, you see all the trees that Paul labeled. I mean, it's an education in itself.
Right, that's true, yeah. And, yeah, and they're labeled on the Goshen Trail as well.
Yeah, they are, yeah. They're nice little things with springs on the back.
So do we want to assign 21A and D? Or is that D is, the reason I have those on here is because that was in that list.
Yeah, Steve's list.
Yeah,
Steve, niece,
yeah.
Yeah.
And the ones that Steve Bradley gave us, were they? You remember
that's
which
what
ones?
we
Yeah.
started with.
Okay.
That's from last month. If anybody
Oh, well,
wants to
well.
see it.
Oh, yeah, I have it too. Yeah. Circle on.
What I
And he's
apologize, I don't
citing-
have Steve Niece's list.
Steve Neese is citing other ones he wanted us to look at?
Well, this was last month's, which I didn't line it up. I'm just assuming maybe they're a little bit different or if you've been working.
But
on it.
I'm assuming Steve probably went through this with Suzanne and George. So you want us to continue looking through here and see if there's anything else we can add and help with?
Well, what else had he added? Because I don't have those listed. So it's 21A, he said?
He had 14E.
14.
Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry.
It was
No.
21A and D are ones that are not among
The
that's
trails.
a walking trail
Mhm.
and then a bicycle lane.
And they
Well,
will,
shared roadway
Yeah, that's right.
is
bicycle.
D.
Yeah, D,
And we
21.
really don't have anything.
No, we really, yeah, I agree, because we're more off-road than on-road.
Okay,
So 21A, I guess.
Trails.
and you have information relative to trails prior to Trails and Greenways, Wade, or?
just some ideas for improvements, that kind of stuff that we discussed that, I mean, the trash cans, we need trash cans on the Goshen Trail, doggy baskets, that kind of stuff. Perhaps a fountain one day.
We did lay out that trail, at Drexel Lodge.
Yeah, we discussed maybe putting a sign up for the Drexel Lodge Trail
Mhm.
at the parking lot. So when you get out, people know that there's a trail there, even if it's something basic, it's at least something to look at, will catch your eye and make you know that there's a, and then having the Boy Scouts perhaps improve that trail. I think we discussed.
Yeah, do we have documentation?
No, I mean, it was just, that was probably before we started taking minutes from.
Would it be beneficial to have a map? Like we go up to French Creek, they have a couple disc golf courses, and they have little cards that show where to go next.
Mhm.
So people don't get lost, and there's a bog in there that don't want people falling in that.
So there are, for the Drexel Lodge Trail, there are the two maps at the entrance, the two entrances of the trail, and that's a document that
Yeah,
we
we
could
can
just
use that.
send right over.
Yeah.
The Boy Scouts did at one point, one Boy Scout, as his project, did improve that trail in some ways. He put up some arrows, he put some, some.
Yeah. And we put the tree signs in there. as well.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, so there's some history already with
Right.
things that have been done.
But I'm not sure there's anything written down anywhere.
Right, there are tags on the trees. identify the tree species. So
Maybe I just go
that's something-
take some pictures of.
Yeah, some pictures and submit that with the map of the trail.
Yeah.
Or even, and I know some people don't like to spray trees, you know, but Hawk Mountain, I used to take my students up there every year, and if you couldn't find the next white marker or the next red marker, you would definitely get lost.
Mm.
And so maybe consider that would be easier than a map, because then you can cite forward to see the next marker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take that one.
But
And do we have access to that map that like a,
I believe I may have an electronic version of it.
Yeah.
And if not, I can talk to the person that sent it to us originally.
or could we just take pictures of the map itself? That's
I could take pictures of the map, take pictures of the signs on the trees and the general trail and just create like a document.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that would do it.
And then maybe one day we'll discuss, something to identify the
Improvements.
trail back.
Yeah.
Just a pet peeve.
I have a question on 7C. It's a Healthy People one. Program to promote safe walking to school is in place. And I just added, or walking around town safely. Because it's a very dangerous place to walk.
That probably would be instituting sidewalks, I would guess.
Yeah, that one is currently Trails and Greenways are going to be handling that. But again, Peter, there's no reason why, you shouldn't provide some input for it.
Okay, good. I'll do a couple things.
Which one was that?
7C. So I have 7B. Sorry. Yeah, 7C. It's in a weird place. It's in
It is.
between 14D and 15A.
Oh, they're in numeric order.
Yeah, I thought I had something wrong.
Yeah, I'm
Number
making it up.
7, he doesn't want to comply.
So how about the bat boxes that we put up? That's something that should fit in here somewhere, taking care of wildlife, right? Helping.
Get the mosquitoes down.
Yeah, so.
It's educational.
That I think can fit under. There was a category that talked about pesticides.
Oh.
Oh, that was the one we took. Yeah,
And-
that was a
Beginning.
7D.
And
That's what Bill wanted.
I think you could make that argument that, that's in lieu of doing things that are not natural.
Natural. Yeah.
Exactly. I think that could fit into a couple spots.
You want to do that one?
So I have pictures and
Yeah, you know where the
Some
bad boxes went?
documentation.
I do. Yeah, okay.
How about the bee project that you did?
oh
a few
yeah,
months ago?
the native bee, native bee
Yeah, pollinators.
Bees.
garden we put in.
I will look for those. It has to be environmental.
There has to be something. I'll take care of it, Suzanne. I'll work with Bill and we'll get those to you.
Okay. So everyone has an electronic copy of the information submission form. I have hard copies if you would like a hard copy. I just figured it's easy. You can just start typing away.
This is what she's talking about right here.
The single page.
Yeah,
That's it. Mhm.
she says.
Yeah, I couldn't print my own.
I have it.
Well, you
And
did.
I'll save it and send it in, whatever I'm doing.
And then if everyone just wants to send it to Wade, and then Wade, you can just let it loose.
When you say at the bottom, responses are due by 29th, is that the documentation or is that
Yes.
just, okay, the
Yes.
all documentation?
We're shooting to do the first submission, the first part of November.
Okay.
You didn't get it. This came weeks ago.
Yeah. it's
Sure,
good to have
thanks,
both.
Suzanne. Thank you, thank you.
Or did you-
No.
Yes, two?
But
Are you trying to trick me here?
thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone have any questions?
October 29th, right?
Yes, please. If you have questions in the meantime, feel free to just send me an email or give me a call.
Yeah, and how about all the planning that we did? We did a ton of planning this year. That should go on here somewhere. It should come from American Bloom or something, but
Or is
we
the
planted
EOC already
stuff
planned?
everywhere.
Yeah, the EAC may have claimed some of those things, but, you know, let's do a double check on it. Let's make sure that we've captured it all.
You should get credit for it.
Yeah. More information
Trees
is
or-
better than not enough.
Like Bloom did the flowers in the circle and things like that.
Right,
Pop-up garden.
right. Pop-up garden and the trees, Luke and Brianna planted the trees last Saturday.
Coaching
How many trees?
and
10. Jonathan represented us there.
Just kind of all through the whole mile?
Yeah, along the trail, yeah, well, between the road and the trail.
Nice.
Yeah, Peter, there, it was about the quarter-mile mark down to the half-mile mark is where that group of 10 went.
Nice.
It was a good turnout of people.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of Boy Scouts.
How about that?
Any questions? Great. Thank you very much. Appreciate
Thanks,
the help.
Suzanne.
Sure, thank you.
So I guess we'll go over our, whatever we're doing. So there's, one of the things that's come up is this, the concerts in the park. We're gonna have a spring one, I believe. We're all on board with that? Sure. And then, September, they're doing another Gather in the Circle. So we normally have a September concert. They're claiming the 10th, what they're looking at. So we're looking at September 17th if we had a concert. And I assume,
Do you have a spring date on that?
I don't want to do another one of those walk for the wounded things if they ask. It was just a little over the top. And
You have Voices for Vets.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of didn't benefit us, and they raised a lot of money. I think they raised like $14,000
Wow.
for veterans, so. Yeah. April, we normally do May, so it'd be May 14th is what we're looking at. For concert.
Thanks.
I reached out to a local, is there like a country bluegrassy, and Westchester. It's just kind of hard to find a band that's in the price range of where we're at. It's $1,500. It's kind of hard to find anybody willing to come in. So you have to find someone local. So if anyone has any ideas, send them over.
So Wade, you're thinking that it would be May 14th and then again on September 17th for potential concert dates?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll have to run the rat trap through all the organizations for the September 17th one. I think we're fine on the May. And then the water bottle filling station, have we looked at that at all yet, George?
No, we were waiting on that, Wade, really at this point until the mural was done.
Okay.
Because, and it's sort of a good thing we didn't put it in before because it would have probably been in the way of the mural. Now we can, you
Right.
know, put it in once it's done and not cover over something important.
All right, so maybe we'll discuss that next month. And then there were other budget items that we put in for. Do we know when we get those approved or?
The budget presentations are still going on.
Okay.
So there's nothing is officially approved at this point.
Okay.
But they've made it onto the list.
All right.
Now, Wade, you were actually, item 7.2 was the other item under new business. Were you gonna?
Oh, yeah. So everyone, the teachers are going to be at Drexel Lodge putting the second coat on the mural Saturday. There's going to be like 100 students coming in. So I'll be there at the morning. I'll come and go as needed. And then at the end, I'll be there to help them clean up if anyone wants to stop in or help at the end.
What time's a good time to come?
We haven't nailed down the exact time. Did she give you a time yet, George?
No.
I'm assuming it's gonna be like from 10 to 4. I'll send an email out.
Yeah, do that, please. Time slots or whatever.
Okay.
Wait, that would be good to have pictures of that.
Yes,
Because-
with all the kids.
Hmm.
And it's going to be in the next magazine, in the community magazine, I believe.
That's great.
This one
What
right
else? I'm not trying to think, was there anything
This
else?
one?
Is that in community?
Yeah. It just came out yesterday,
Oh,
and it shows, has your name in it in many places. But it doesn't have your picture as the teachers.
the teachers, very good. They're the ones who did all the work. It's in Newtown Square.
Yeah.
Friends and.
Oh, it's in Friends and Neighbors. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice
I thought
article.
it was in community, but maybe I'm mistaken.
It's a good article.
Who wrote it?
Sheila
Sheila?
Turner.
Okay, yeah, it was Sheila then. Yes, sorry. Was there?
Just disc golf. 7-2 right here. You don't want to talk about that?
Yeah, no, let's go. I was just thinking anything, Parks and Rec initiatives.
Oh,
Sustainable Newtown. All right. Bye, Peter.
no, I was walking over there with my dog, and I just thought, well, it's fall time, and I have this circle spray thing, and you circle the hose, and then maybe put stakes in the ground and just let people come over with their own frisbees. Not to do a big map thing, but you could see a stake like this a mile away. And let's throw it out with no rhyme or reason, but it's just fun, to try to keep the thing out of the water and have a good attitude. I played with some little kids, and this one little guy was just throwing it wild, and he just walked off the course.
So you think it's something that we should put in permanent? Is that what you're?
Well, as long as people don't come and steal the sticks, or you get a smaller round dowel kind of thing. This is going to be painted on the ground, and I could just go up and paint, get white paint and spray it. Just keep up with it. Pretty, 9 holes.
Peter, how much real estate would you envision that taking up?
I think up by, so if you're in the top pavilion, just where I had it, where Wade and I played that time, I had hole 1. The start was right to the right of that on the grass. You go over to the corner where the bushes are, and then down by the creek a little bit, and up through the tennis court area, up through the woods, sort of. You can get caught in them, just to keep track. And just, I had it mapped out for when we were going to do it, but then COVID came. It never got over to the gazebo, so it stayed clear of that. It just kind of went down and just did a big U and back up to the pavilion, the big pavilion.
So if I can give a thought, I don't know if you'd want to initially plan on a permanent installation, but maybe like a month-long installation and see how it works. I always get nervous, whatever we put permanently in the park, then that's claimed and then there's nothing else we can do.
Right.
If you think of another idea later, or if somebody else has a request.
Right.
But maybe something that would be like a month long or something,
Sure.
and you could sell it that way and see if it is the best
People
fit.
show up, right? That's smart. You know, the permanent baskets, my son works at a prep school up in Connecticut, and he put an 18-hole disc golf course around the campus, and lots of acreage and up and down hills. And those are the ones with the chains. And I'm not talking about that. I'm just sticks in the ground. Hopefully the kids will keep the sticks in the ground.
Because one of the challenges I know this board is faced with is that there's lots of people that want activity to do at the parks. And there's also lots of people that just want somewhere that there's nothing to do at the parks, that it's just open space. They could walk and not have any stuff around.
Yeah.
And again, you're always facing that challenge as to what's the right balance. But again, maybe trying something
Just for a short period.
for a period and then.
Yeah, just maybe a month in the fall.
Yeah.
Because then winter comes, so I'm not going to want to go over there. Fall down the hill.
You also will see the response. If people really want to do it, how
Right.
many people are going to come out?
Right. Maybe put a sign somewhere, disc golf, start here.
Yeah.
And then I even put arrows like pointing to the next hole. Throw to that one, throw down there.
So we might be able to do laminated
Yeah.
signs on stakes.
Yeah, like, yeah, number one.
Would that go on here then?
Yeah, you could,
So if we got one
Stapled on
8
it.
by 11 sheet, and put it in,
yeah,
you know,
yeah, just
cubes.
just like this.
But you don't want a whole sheet of paper.
No, you
You
don't.
don't probably cut it.
A little, yeah, quarter.
Yeah, like a 3x5.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like an
Yeah.
index card.
just so they can see it from a distance. That'd be fun I'd have fun just doing that.
I guess we just advertise on Facebook and whatever.
Are you talking about this fall doing this or?
Well, it doesn't take long to spray, 9 circles.
And you put the post in the middle of the circle, is that?
Yeah, and I always played it like if you threw the disc and it got even close, just to hit the line, you were in.
Okay.
You didn't have to hit the stick. But they'd have to bring their own frisbees.
So Peter, I would suggest that maybe we would want the poles to be high enough that there wouldn't be any chance of somebody falling on it or
Right.
tripping on it or whatever. If it was
Right.
tall enough, one, you could see it from further away, but
Yes,
two, there'd be less chance of somebody being injured on it.
right. Good
So
one.
what's that number, 6 foot?
Yeah, because you want to drive it 2 feet in the ground,
I think waist level.
8 footers.
Okay.
And not, just have to get a hammer on top with a piece of wood so you don't split the wood and just drive it down. Mark
You like those
If it's
stakes we
8
use
feet
for
and you
trees?
could put the neon colored for visibility and contrast,
Yeah,
nobody's gonna miss that.
I
I
know,
mean,
yeah.
You like those stakes we use for trees, maybe, something like that.
Yeah.
When they originally come, the stakes we use for trees are very tall. We usually cut them down a little bit, but they're usually pretty big when they show up.
Do you have a starting spot?
Yeah, it was just to the right of the big pavilion up top.
Or what I mean is for each hole,
Oh, yeah, you have a
Or-
line and it says, like, stand behind the line and,
okay, so you paint the line like.
yeah, right next.
On the
like,
grass.
Yeah, like this would be here and then the new T would
Right.
be a few feet away
Okay.
with a number 2, like pointing down.
I see.
that's cool.
So we do it on a temporary 1 month basis, but we need to get the word out somehow.
Yeah, so I mean, I could get these, I'm not teaching until December, so I can get this done in.
We can have it before Thanksgiving. kind of.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it'd be good mid-October to mid-November.
We're close to the end of the grass cutting season. They are still cutting the grass up there.
Yep.
But I would say as soon as we're done cutting the grass, that would be ideal. Then you wouldn't have to keep
Yeah,
repainting it as much.
Pulling, yeah, and them cutting around poles. They don't want to do that. I think they run, Pete Williams were here, he'd run them over.
All right, so when do you want to do it?
Well, tomorrow. No, next week, I'm totally free.
Well, you're saying,
Let me check the grass
Should we
cutting
not-
schedule.
On the,
Yeah, and as soon as we're done,
yeah,
and
you shoot me an email.
absolutely.
Okay. And if you want to come over and help lay it out, you can. It'd be always good to get more eyes. Like, no, that's too hard, that's too far.
just if you want to call me, text me,
Okay,
whatever,
sure.
I'll help.
All right, thanks. Good, it'll be a good walkabout. And we'll get paint. Do you guys have paint?
What paint did you envision?
Well, I do upside down paint when I paint lines on my backyard for volleyball and stuff.
Mhm.
You know, just the cans. that
Yeah.
you-
Go upside down, sure. What colors?
Well, it was kind of, I used my middle of my lawn. My wife did not like it. Why is it yellow out there now? But that really does show up. And I think I got it from over at old MAB store.
Mhm. Okay, I'll look into that.
Thanks, George.
And again, I will let you know when the grass cutting is scheduled to be done.
Sure. Thank you. Well, the township guys don't cut the grass, do they?
We contract it out.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, it's a landscaping company. But
Right.
again, they're a couple more cuts for the year and then they'll
Yeah,
be
yeah.
done. The grass isn't going to grow anymore.
I like that idea. I'm done cutting.
Watering and cutting.
Yeah. Water the plants. Cut. Good for me.
But so again, the park and rec board is suggesting that's what we do. We'll set it up for a month. As soon as the grass cutting's done.
Everybody on board? Caitlin?
Aye, yeah.
Jonathan?
Yeah.
You- all right.
And all this can go down and we can have a contest.
Right, you never know, might be a good thing. Might
Yeah.
Be a lot of people.
Well, I just
showing
saw, I
up
saw
to play
something
that.
on Nextdoor that, that app. Somebody, before I came here, I looked at it and does anybody know where there's this golf course around? About that.
Cool.
So I put it on Nextdoor. A lot of people respond.
I wonder if there's a disc golf group local.
Oh, I'm
On
sure.
Facebook.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure there are. And they're professional. They might come over and laugh at our little course.
As a start.
So you don't think people should bring their own frisbees? over?
Yeah, because otherwise they're going to walk off with them.
Is there any money in the budget that just to put some out every
I know
Saturday
you
morning?
can
or-
buy like giveaway frisbees. Really.
Or say, please return after you play.
Yeah, you get a basket at the beginning, you get a basket at the end, and
Yeah.
if you get some leftover, great. If you
Right.
lose some frisbees,
Yeah, into the woods or something.
I think,
That's a better idea.
I think it'll gain a lot more popularity if there's.
Right, people
Frisbees
just
out
show
there.
up and if there's equipment available, they're more likely to
Right.
play.
We do have a little money left in the park budget this year for, maintenance supplies and those kind of things, which I think ought to be able to be worked into that if we're just getting, how many frisbees do you think you need?
Dozen?
And how much?
Well, it depends. You can get the real lightweight ones. These are expensive.
You can get ones that they're used for marketing, give them away that, you
Yeah,
can,
but you don't want those. Some of those are so cheap that
they don't
you
go
can
very
hardly
far.
hit the screen over there.
Yeah.
And you go, this is no fun. So you need.
Peter, would you be willing to send me, maybe look at Amazon or something
Sure.
and send me what you think would work?
Sure.
And then we could look at trying to get some ordered.
I think, depending on how much they cost, I think maybe a couple dollars, $10. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I think they're more like, when they had Kids R Us and all those toy stores open, they were like, you could get them for $8 each.
So I'm thinking a dozen per weekend. If there's 4 weekends that this is is in play. And you put out a dozen, maybe 6 on Saturday morning, 6 on Sunday morning, and
Why
then
not
if
say,
they walk, and then the next
come
weekend.
play
there's
and
more.
get a free Frisbee.
I
Yeah, if we
think
could
we
get-
ought to encourage them to return them
For the
to
first
box.
12 people, though.
Yeah.
I think a lot of them.
Game over, game over.
They just come and get the Frisbee and leave, you know what I mean?
George, how much money are
Yeah.
you talking about? At $8 a,
I mean, I'll go through it pretty quick. I mean, we just spent, for example, we just spent money that there was some issues with the Brookside Playground. Some of the stairs were starting to wear. The rubber was wearing off the stairs. So we purchased replacement steps, which we're going to be installing out there. Again, that's what a lot of the general money is for, those kind of repair things. We've had some B situations. We've had to, spend the money on there, but we certainly have a few $100s left. I don't have $1,000 to spend on Frisbees, but we've got enough to certainly get some to make this a successful project.
Right.
And where will we keep them?
Area in the pavilion under the.
We're at the township building and people come to the township building and then go over and then.
I think you gotta put it right there where the stakes are. People aren't gonna.
absolutely.
Yeah, they've got to
Do you
be.
have any boxes that can be locked?
We do not, and I think eventually when bocce ball happens, there's going to be lock boxes then,
Yes.
and that's when we could probably put the stuff in there. I don't know if there is an inexpensive temporary storage box we could try to find, maybe like a plastic one or something that either like a Walmart or somewhere might have.
Is this the size?
Well, I'm looking on Amazon right now. They have a pack of 12 for $18. Toy air Frisbee game, but I have to read all the descriptions because if it says, they're like this big, that's not going to be fun.
Yeah, no.
Nobody's going to, because those things, especially if
terrible.
there's a wind, they're going to throw those things in the woods.
You need a good size.
But so I'd have to research it.
In the
George.
weight.
Yeah.
And we can, and Peter, I'll also look, but if you can look, I mean, maybe there's a inexpensive storage box that we could put at the beginning of the course.
Yeah.
And again, at least get us through this year.
Yeah.
I think maybe if you put out like 6 to 8, depending on how much it is
Yeah.
each week,
Right.
see what's there, fill it up the next Saturday.
Sure.
So maybe it's about $200, George.
Yeah, I mean, we could do that. That's for
That way we
sure.
could just kind of keep filling it each week and, and then hopefully more, it'll be right there and hopefully people. I tend to think that people who are gonna participate in fall would probably, follow the rules
Yeah.
and put the
Right, most
frisbees
people
back,
play, right.
Yeah. And I think it'll probably end up being parents and little kids. Because you don't see a lot of middle schoolers hanging out.
But again,
As a playground.
I'm imagining, like a deck box that you would get. It's basically plastic and it's small. It would be for cushions and that kind of thing.
Right, right.
But we'll use it for Frisbees.
Now, do you lock it?
No, I don't see how you would.
Yeah, because people have to get access.
Yeah,
that's right,
because people
right.
have to be able to get their Frisbees
I
out.
want them to be able to notice it as well.
Right.
You could use some kind of min-max system too, where, you want to have at least 6 in there or not more than 12.
Right.
Right.
Every Saturday you go and count them. Appropriate number.
Yeah, I mean, if we had a locking one, we could do one that's available and the locking one is the one that has the supplies.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Well, and again, Public Works visits the parks 3 times a week. So we'll keep an eye on it. But the reality is you're going to be looking at it to see whether it's successful, to see what we want to be putting down on it. We're not going to be looking at it with those eyes. We could bring more Frisbees out if we saw the need, but I do want to be careful. We could keep filling it up and you're going to go and keep saying, oh yeah, none of them have been stolen. And yet I'm bringing them and replacing them
What about,
constantly.
like-
So we'll just want to set up who's going to monitor it.
Scorecards or something. It would be nice to have something where people could, mark their high score that so other people can look at that, but also we know whether people are actually using it or not. So they leave some kind of trail that they were there, even though nobody saw
What if we
them.
put a sign-in sheet, said, thanks for playing? You know, if there's enough names, maybe we could make this, you know.
Yeah,
and
or
put
I
it
mean,
right
so they
next
don't
to
even
the
have to put
race.
their name. All they got to do is say, what was your highest score? You know, so that other people can, you know, see sort of competition between groups that come in. Oh, well, we got, you know, we had this score, you know.
So then I think you'd be into making scorecards, having pencils.
So I'm just, yeah,
For the future.
yeah, I'm just thinking, yeah, we had like a chalkboard
Yeah.
or some kind
Is
of.
is there a app or something? that we create a sheet that says, you know, here it is.
Well, you're good on the computer. I don't think.
I'm just
So here's
thinking,
an
I'm
app
just
you can
thinking
go
it would
for
be
a
nice to
scorecard.
have a way of knowing whether people used it or
Are
not.
actually using it.
So they're leaving some kind of, you know,
Right, so then it would say, you know.
Intelligence
can you
there
go
that they've been-
online, or can you fill out can you just write in, like Kitten said, your name?
Yeah,
when you
a
were
box
here,
with a
and your high
slot.
score. and all
Yeah,
that.
Maybe
like a,
we could have cards that they could just, you know,
just put
put
your
down
card
the
in here.
scores and put them in the slot, and then we could just see that the slot be under a
Best
roof.
score wins a Frisbee.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, come back in 4 weeks.
yeah. I don't know, I'm just.
Yeah, I hear you.
that might work.
Because if nobody's there watching, you're not,
It would be really nice to track the usage, yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
was it used by 10 people or one person, or, you know, size of your group, high score?
Yeah, I'm thinking just off the top of my head that maybe in the fall, most kids are in school, so they're not going to come by. They're probably not going to come by except on the weekend. Maybe. Like when I go over there on my bike, I'll see moms with little kids mostly.
Right, on the playground.
Yeah, on the playground or walking down, you know, to go up into the woods on the trails. But
Well, it's a temporary trial
It is.
basis, right?
yeah,
So,
Yeah.
we don't want to mess up with the lawn cutting.
right.
While we're doing this trial basis. So, you know, the fall might be good enough, right? We haven't done anything. We're
Yeah.
running.
Yeah,
Be
I'm up
something
for it.
exciting for us to do.
it will get us out of the house.
I've had enough. I mean, I'll help you with it.
That'd be great.
Maybe,
Yeah, I'm happy to go
Thanks.
restock Frisbees or check on it every
That'd be
weekend or
great,
during
yeah.
the
and we'll
week.
figure out some kind of scorecard box thing that'll work, okay? Develop it. I have a house over in Broomall, some elderly friends I've been cleaning out forever, and there is stuff over there, you know, you never know. So I'm gonna walk through the barn tomorrow and see if I can
Okay.
find a box.
There you go.
You
That's
never
great.
know. All right.
And then to put it up on Facebook. I don't have a Facebook.
I'll get Leonard. I'll send it to Leonard.
That's good.
Yeah. He does that.
He's our
And
best-
next door.
Right.
Next
There's
door.
Patch. Do you belong to any of them, Bill? Do you get the emails, Patch, or?
Do you have to pay to advertise in here? Like if you called friends and neighbors and said, for the month, we're featuring this?
Yeah, the challenge is gonna be, I mean, we're gonna put it up. I don't know when the next issue is coming out. Well,
Yeah, that
probably-
makes- It's probably not gonna line up.
Yeah, see, this is October.
But Nick, we could add it on the newsletter.
and I mean, we'll get it on the township website and we'll get it onto, you know, the township's Facebook and those kind of things. So there'll be something for people to forward out to folks.
That's cool.
Thanks. Thank you, folks.
Maybe we could get like a sign, I mean, you know, like a yard sign, one of those things.
Or like, you know, the signs that you put out for the concerts.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Maybe just put a sign at the entrance and
This
exit,
with an arrow, disc golf this way.
disc golf, you know, between these dates, or disc golf.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dates, yeah. So when people pull in, they go, oh, disc golf, what's that? And then have a sign when you get somewhere by the pavilion.
We might be able to make something laminated through the township. Can you do 11 by 17s, Nick? Laminated 11 by 17?
Yes, we can do 11 by 17 on the,
Big legal.
It's, I mean, that should be good enough.
Sure.
It's a temporary
Yeah.
thing, so.
I can do, I have a laminator,
All right, so I'll make up some kind of
8 by 11.
and then we can just use stakes, the ground stakes you guys use.
Mhm. And again, it's a month. They'll last for a month.
Sure.
Can you paint them, or I feel like the tape might
Well, yeah,
be more
I
costly?
made, this was like kind of a stickball bat for my grandkids. But I suppose just painting it, you know, that color. get
Yep, that's
bright
great.
orange.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
great.
All right, so items for next agenda. Do we want to discuss that now? Or you just want us to send? What do you want to do with the agenda for next month?
So I would suggest both. I would say if there's anything that this board wants to have on next month's agenda, we could mention it now, but you can also email it in and send it in. That's fine. But if as a group, you've got something you'd like to put on,
Or Jonathan, anything you wanted to add on the agenda that you know of?
Or maybe we could just follow up with the spring concert, any
Yeah, that,
band suggestions? And do we have
funds.
funds?
Yeah, that's going to be a problem. Paul's been our funding source.
Yeah, but didn't that French company jump in?
Yeah, so I'll contact Paul.
Laura,
I'll start looking,
Laura?
I'll start doing that on the side. So,
You're gonna be Paul?
oh,
so one of the things, keep in mind with agendas and, you know, you're playing chess, you're always thinking ahead with, you know, with how you're going to handle it. You want to make sure that if there's an item that you think at the next meeting, you want to take an action on, we want to make sure we're identifying that we want to take an action on it. So, you know, all the topics that you want to discuss, and if it's something that you think you're going to make a decision on or make a recommendation to the board on or do something with, we want to make sure we identify that in our agenda item. You know, so say, for example, here, we were able to make a decision, you were able to make a decision on disc golf because it was on the agenda. If it had not been on the agenda, or if it had only been discussion and not possible action, we wouldn't have been able to say, we're going to set it up.
okay.
You know, the agendas now, again, with the state of Pennsylvania, they're very particular that you have to be able to give people an idea of whether they should come to the meeting to participate in something if they think there's a decision being made. If somebody had a major problem against disc golf and they didn't know that we were going to consider putting disc golf up, they could make an argument that you didn't say you were going to do that.
Right.
I would also say, you know, under old business, have a running list of things that you are going to talk about each time. So, you know, if you're going to talk about bocce ball, if you're going to talk about, you know, a lot of the other ongoing projects, let's just make sure we've got them on the list and just keep them on there until you're not going to talk about them every time.
Right.
Because we never want to get into a situation where you wanted to do something and we can't.
So can I add old agenda items back on that aren't on here?
Absolutely. That's
All right.
my thought.
So is there any items that you want to add on the spring concert? So we'll add that. That's going to be under old business. And this is going to be a discussion, no action. So you want any actions taken next month?
Did we make any decision about the shade at the park?
No, we put in a budget request. And we'll have
Okay,
to wait for
that was
to be
the
received.
budget request.
All right. And that's in the budget request at this point.
So we won't take action until we confirm that we have the budget. And then after that, we'll put it on the agenda for an action item.
Right.
Right, but Steve said he would have a consultant take a look at it, recommend what to install. Like the.
Right. The important thing with the budget right now is to get the funds allocated.
Right.
And then once funds are allocated, then you can make the specific determination as to what's going on. Right now, they've put in money for the concept of a shade or a sail or something like that.
And if we get rejected, I don't know that we want to spend time talking about it. I don't know that we're gonna get rejected, but.
All right.
But if we do get the money, then we'll bring it back on the agenda and then we'll start
Right,
taking
how do we
action.
spend the money?
So this, so for example, the spring concert, you would put under, old business, but you may take an action as to setting a date next time. Like right now, you've discussed it, but the date isn't set in stone. And the date really couldn't be set in stone at this point anyway, because you have to check into some, make sure there's no conflicts. We'll make sure that we word it in such a way so that you could take action of setting the date and actually making concrete
So we'll
plans.
call
with
it
it.
a
Possible action,
candidate date or
possible action. Okay.
What about for this? September also,
potential date.
May and September.
Oh, yes, both dates,
Yes.
yes. Yes, spring and,
Spring and fall.
May 14th,
Spring and fall
September
concert.
17th.
September 7th.
So next month, we're going to decide on the dates.
Right.
Will there be anything else to talk about the mural at Drexel Lodge Park or any other action items beyond?
No, it
This
should be
weekend.
done at that point. The only other thing they're going to do the work themselves kind of on the side. They'll just notify us. They're going to bring in children to do specific work. They chose some of the children's work. There was thousands of pieces of art that were produced for this. So some of the work is going to be transposed over top of the mural itself. They're going to bring those kids in on an individual basis, certain times. So I don't want to discuss that here because it gets down to detail exactly.
so you'd like under old items, you'd like discussion of the mural, you'd probably like discussion of the bocce ball court, just
Yes,
wherever it's at,
yes, yes.
the basketball court painting, wherever it's at.
So we might need, okay, all right, I got you. All right. So one of the things I wanted to add was, we reviewed Brookside Park this year. So I wanted to choose another park to start reviewing if everybody's okay with that, just kind of like on a grand overview scale. And I don't, is Drexel Lodge? I don't know what, with the next park we should look at today.
Are you going for park that already gets a lot of frequent visits, or do you want to try to target newbie in one of the parks that is a little under visited?
Yeah. You want to think about it and we'll discuss it in the next meeting?
And then the action will be at the next meeting, deciding which park is going to be.
The park for what?
Just to review the park itself, the
Okay.
condition of the park, the equipment that's there,
Okay.
maybe suggestions for the board. Get some historical information, anything we can look at. We got it every way we can. Like we did Brookside. I looked at how much space is there, what's there, and talked about, we came up with shade, needing shade.
Yes.
So next month we'll target.
Whatever
park
park, whatever
to
park we
discuss.
decide, yeah.
Are we gonna put the Meadow Preserve in on that?
No, because it's got a master plan. And, I think we should probably be pursuing implementing part to the master plan, like the bee garden, as simple as it was part of the.
Meadow
master
needs
plan.
to be set up.
Yes, it does, yes.
How do we,
That's, there's, in the master plan for the Meadow Preserve, it calls out burning off invasive species, bringing in the firehouse. And the firehouse could use that as a training program, and they could do it Delaware County wide and bring in other fire companies, possibly get it paid for. Get a check, a box checked on one of these lists. I don't know. It's something to consider, but.
So maybe this board wants to discuss the Meadow Preserve Master Plan at the next meeting.
Yes.
Yeah. See where everything is.
consult some pyro.
How would you get down? How would you get fire trucks down?
I'm not a fireman. I don't know how they would do it, but it calls out in the master plan specifically to
To
burn off
burn.
invasive species.
Well, they've got a path cut.
Yeah, for
for a
cross
small
country.
truck, yeah. No, wide area for walk.
Yeah.
Up around it, right?
Do they take golf
No,
carts and
in
all?
it, into it,
Oh, yeah, from Lissitor Corner,
yeah, from the,
from the Lissitor Corner.
Yeah.
That would be a rough ride going down a fire truck. Pretty fast ride.
Yeah, we actually cut all those trails at this point. Episcopal has not been cutting the trails.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Although they use it.
Do we do that or we have a contract?
No, we have been doing that because that's not something we had anticipated in our landscaping contract. So we've been going down and cutting them.
and what do they use it for?
I think their cross-country team
Cross country.
runs in there.
Running? Great.
And
It's public.
generally walking, I think a lot of the community people who live there, the headmaster and I saw his wife. She had 5 dogs with her. Off lead.
I imagine visitors.
There's a lot of people walk there.
I've walked it.
Have they done anything with the ticks over there? Oh, there are a lot of ticks.
I'm not aware of that.
Yes, there are. Yes, I've had ticks on me.
No, I'm not aware
You're
if they've done
that
anything
they've
about
done
them.
it? You're aware there are ticks? or-
I'm not aware if anything's been done about.
Right. Spraying and
On the burn.
Is there a need to talk about Greer Park? I'm just looking at old business from September.
Oh.
Greer Park update.
So
Should we
there,
put that on the list for the agenda for next? month?
For next time, yeah. Thank you. And again, remember, we're throwing some things out here. Hopefully that'll get you thinking, and you could just email in proposals for, for agenda items. And again, the agenda gets set as long as we've narrowed it down for the week ahead of time, and then there's time to get it published so people could see it. It doesn't have to be finalized when we leave here tonight.
all right, so I'll create a list and then send it out to everyone, and then you guys want to add to it, and then we'll get it to next, right? All right.
And again, Wade, just, when you send it out, make sure that everybody does not reply all and get a discussion going, because that would be considered by the state and the sunshine law to be a meeting going on. So if it's one-on-one or
What
that
did
kind
you
of thing.
say the quorum was? You can't have more than 2 Parks and Rec people talking about?
So that's right. If there were 3 members of Park and Rec together at some time talking about Park and Rec things, that would be considered by the state to be a meeting.
Oh, boy.
But we can get together and
You can email.
Absolutely.
golf.
So no business talk. on the
Absolutely.
golf course, okay?
It has to be in the dead of night.
Cloak and dagger. So is there anything else? Guess we're adjourned then.
Okay.
Well, for adjournment, okay.
At 8:11.
Always wanted.